What if I told you? The Sony A7S IV is finally happening, but not the way you expected. After years of silence, countless rumors, and growing frustration in the alpha community, Sony has finally broken the pattern. But here's the twist. They are not playing by the old rules anymore. In the next few minutes, we are diving deep into shocking new leaks, controversial changes, and unexpected upgrades that might redefine what the A7S series stands for. And by the time we reach the end, you might find yourself questioning whether this is the upgrade we waited for, or a curveball nobody asked for. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you live for camera rumors and top 10 camera breakdowns, and get ready. Because the Sony A7S IV is coming, and it's not what you expected. Here's the bombshell that changes everything. Sony is reportedly abandoning the 12-megapixel sensor that defined the A7S line. According to my sources, the A7S IV will feature a completely redesigned sensor between 20.5 and 24.2 megapixels. Yes, you heard that right. Double the resolution. But wait, doesn't this completely contradict what made the A7S special? The low megapixel count was what gave it those massive photo sites for unmatched low-light performance. So is this even an A7S camera anymore? That's the million-dollar question dividing Sony shooters right now. But before you panic, here's where things get really interesting. Sony isn't just slapping more megapixels on the sensor and calling it a day. They're rumored to be implementing a brand new stacked CMOS sensor with a revolutionary dual-layer design specifically engineered to enhance low-light performance despite the higher resolution. The most mind-blowing part? This camera is expected to offer dual native ISO capability. And the second native ISO value might reach as high as 25,600. Let that sink in for a moment. 25,600 as a native ISO value. If true, this could redefine what's possible in near-darkness shooting. So yes, more resolution, but potentially better low-light performance? Is Sony about to prove all the skeptics wrong? What I'm about to tell you next about the video capabilities might be the most controversial part yet. Let's talk about what most of us really care about. Video performance. The A7S III was already a beast for video, but the 4? It's about to raise the bar to levels we didn't think possible in this form factor. The rumors suggest 6K video recording. Yes, 6K, at various frame rates including 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 24 frames per second. This is way beyond what anyone expected from an A7S body. But here's the feature filmmakers are going to absolutely love. 4K recording at up to 120 frames per second, oversampled from 6K footage for mind-blowing detail and clarity. Think about the flexibility this gives you in post-production. And Sony hasn't forgotten about the rolling shutter effect that plagued earlier models. Sources indicate significant improvements to minimize rolling shutter, making this camera far more capable for fast action sequences and rapid pans. But now, for the twist that no one saw coming. Sony is reportedly incorporating artificial intelligence into the core of this camera's functionality. Not just for autofocus, but for an entirely new level of subject tracking and recognition. The BAONZ XR image processor is rumored to be supercharged with AI capabilities that could potentially identify and track subjects with uncanny precision, even in extremely challenging lighting conditions. Think about what this means for solo filmmakers. Near-perfect focus tracking without a dedicated focus puller. And that's not even the most surprising part. Sony has supposedly developed an entirely new cooling system to prevent overheating during extended recording sessions. Combined with an 8-stop in-body image stabilization system, this camera could be the most reliable and versatile A7S yet. But the price you'll have to pay for all this technology? That's what I'm about to reveal next, and it might make you think twice about upgrading. Now for the news that might make your wallet cry. The A7S III launched at approximately $3,499 US. But with all these enhancements in the A7S IV, industry insiders are suggesting a price tag between $3,999 and $4,500 US. Yes, potentially $4,500 for a body-only configuration. That would make it one of the most expensive cameras in its class, significantly pricier than competing models from Canon and Panasonic. But the worst part? You can't even get your hands on one anytime soon. Despite all these rumors and leaks, Sony is keeping their cards close to their chest. Based on internal scheduling patterns and industry sources, we're looking at a release window between late 2025 and early 2026. That's right, you might have to wait another year or more before this camera hits the shelves. And during that time, what will Canon and Panasonic release? Will the A7S IV already be outdated by the time it launches? This long wait combined with the steep price increase raises serious questions. Is Sony losing touch with what videographers actually need? Are they over-engineering a camera that's drifting from its core purpose? And most importantly, is it even worth waiting for? There's one final piece of the puzzle that might help you decide, and it's about the very future of the A7S line itself. So here we are, the Sony A7S IV is coming with more resolution, better low-light performance, higher frame rates, AI functionality, improved cooling, and better stabilization. But it's also coming later and at a significantly higher price point than many expected. The real question isn't whether this will be an amazing camera. It almost certainly will be. The question is whether it's still an A7S camera at heart, or whether Sony has transformed it into something entirely different. Has the pursuit of technological advancement overshadowed the beautiful simplicity that made the original A7S line so beloved? I believe we're witnessing a fundamental shift in Sony's approach to their camera lines. The A7S is evolving beyond its original niche as just a low-light specialist and becoming something more versatile but potentially less focused. If you're deciding whether to wait for the A7S IV or look at alternatives, you absolutely need to check out my in-depth video on the Sony A7V right after this. It might actually be the better choice for many shooters, and I break down exactly why in that video. What do you think? Is Sony making the right move by drastically changing the A7S formula? Or should they have stayed true to the original vision? Are you willing to pay potentially $4,500 for these features? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this information helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more camera rumors and breakdowns. Until next time, keep shooting and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Peace.